Today on DNVR Buffs Live, it is July 1st, and we simply couldn't wait any longer to start talking about real football. So we got a little scouting session in on Georgia Tech, and also 2 commitments set for while we're live on the show. Should be a fun one. Let's get it.
Buff Nation!
Let's go.
Squad! Coming to you live from the Toyota Lounge, driven by your Front Range Toyota stores. It's DNVR Buffs Live. Loaded show today. We've made it to July. We're literally like 59 days away from week 1.
That's crazy.
Next month.
Next month. There you go, Scotty. Congrats.
Next month is game day, boys. Y'all ready? Let's get it. I love
Gonna
that.
happen fast.
Yeah, it is.
This month's going to go by very quick. Media days next week. Camp
Yeah.
at the end of the month. It's practically here. Welcome to football season, everyone.
As far as I'm concerned.
I mean, we're scouting, so.
yeah,
Totally.
facts. Sure are.
Today on the show, we'll talk Big 12 strength of schedules. Who has the toughest schedule in the conference?
Ooh.
Jordan Seaton, a couple accolades today. One, I guess, not really an accolade, but very highly rated in the new CFB 26. We'll talk a lot about
Underrated.
that one today. You could have that argument as well. We're going to start today with Georgia Tech, though. Oh, and also recruiting. 1:30, so 27 minutes from now. We have 2 decisions, Trip Skews and Colby Johnson.
Yes, sir.
So we'll keep an eye out. Let's start with Georgia Tech, though. We watched 3 games. The Georgia game, of course. Just instant classic CFB game.
Yep. So,
Go ahead.
let me just say. Actually, go ahead. Finish.
The North Carolina game, which was, if you remember, they Jamal Haynes, right, is his name?
Yep.
Had like a 70-yard touchdown to win the game with like 10 seconds left, running the ball.
Yeah.
Crazy. And then they played Duke. That was Haynes King's one of his best passing performances last year. So,
So,
go ahead.
I kind of threw out the Georgia game.
I kind of do too, bro.
That's a rivalry game.
Yes.
Like crazy finish. A great performance. Not to be, scoffed at by any
Right.
means. But it's just, in college football, fluke games happen. Colorado State can compete with Colorado once in a while.
Yeah.
It can happen. See you over there, RG. And that's what makes college football beautiful.
Definitely.
Sometimes
Yes.
there's just flukes. And that's what I kind of think happened in Georgia Tech, Georgia this year.
Yeah, totally. I'm exactly the same. I mean, they're up 17-0 before the half.
Yep.
They get like a couple turnovers that go their way. Georgia's not doing anything offensively. And then Haynes King fumbles the ball with like 2 minutes left. And Georgia pulls off like 14 points in the final 2 minutes, take it to 8, 9 overtimes, whatever it is.
Insane.
And win the game. I mean, there were so many opportunities for Georgia Tech to actually win that game, but that's what it felt like to me too. It was like a rivalry game. We're 7-4. We're out of the conference play. We can go ruin our rival's season type of game. Like they were juiced up. They played how they usually play, it seemed, but it was a little bit more, and I think it was that rivalry aspect.
Yeah.
I think that Georgia game, really shows you what Haynes King is really capable of.
Yes,
Like that
it
was
does.
probably his best game as a college football quarterback. Threw for over 300 yards, ran for over 100 yards, had 5 total touchdowns in that game. Like this is like a true dual threat quarterback that the Colorado defense in week 1 is going to have to be ready for the physicality of this offensive line, of these ball carriers, Haynes King included, Jamal Haynes included. The physicality of probably playing a lot of like 2 tight end sets. Like this defensive line, this front 7 for Colorado, I think is going to have to be the biggest reason why this team wins and starts the season 1-0. And obviously we believe in this defensive line being arguably the most talented, deepest unit on the team. They're going to have to show us early on in week 1. And in addition to Haynes King and Jamal Haynes, who led Georgia Tech in rushing last year, Georgia Tech also added another really impressive guy to their running back room. That's Malachi Hosley, who's coming over from the Ivy League. He was one of the top FCS players over the last 2 seasons at Penn. Last year, ran for over 1,000 yards. Was a finalist for the Walter Payton Award as the best FCS player, obviously coming up to Georgia Tech alongside Jamal Haynes. Like, that's going to be a nasty 1-2 punch at running back, in addition to the dual threat quarterback. I think I've said a lot of times early on, I think in the season, defense is going to have to carry. Week 1 is going to have to be that first kind of real test and challenge.
And we have the graphic of departures and additions that Georgia Tech has gone through. I mean, it's just the new age of college football, you know, that turnover. I mean, you lose Eric Singleton, you bring in Eric Rivers at wide receiver. Malachi Hosley is the running back that Scott just spoke about. Akello Stone is coming in. I don't have this right now, sorry. He's coming in from Ole Miss. Eric Singleton, he's a very dynamic player. He left to Auburn.
They relied on him heavily.
Yes, a lot.
Heavily.
So Eric Rivers is enrolled for a big role when he, I guess, I mean, we'll see how settled in he is, how, big of a key cog he is for that offense.
He's cold, bro. I'm not gonna lie.
And
Yeah,
then
he is.
Corey Robinson II is he was a 4-star transfer as well. He went to Arkansas. And Edge Romello Height, that's another Texas Tech big-time defender, another 4-star
How many
transfer.
edges did they get?
All of them.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I didn't realize he went to Tech.
Yep. So those are the big ones. Do you remember Evan Haynes, the receiver who was on the Juju weekend, who didn't commit?
Yeah.
He was committed to North Carolina,
Right.
ended up entering the transfer portal. He's at GT now.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, I mean, digging in, this is an uncommon opponent, obviously, but they are still familiar in a sense. They remind me.
How so?
Rutherford stayed, though.
Rutherford stayed.
Yeah.
He is good. He's a good player. What was I saying? They're
How are they
familiar.
so familiar?
They're a familiar opponent, though. They remind me of a mix between like Kansas and North Dakota State. North Dakota State being obviously the quarterback run game, just tough, hard-nosed football team, well coached. And the Kansas aspect is actually more so Devin Neal and what Jamal Hayes can do, because he is. There's multiple plays where he's just reversing field, breaking tackles, bouncing off dudes. He's a really good player. And then you got the new running back as well. I don't know, I can keep going.
Haynes is a headache to tackle.
Yes.
They're going to have to bring their pads and wrap up and gang tackle him. King especially, and obviously Hosley as well. I think what kind of makes them different a little bit, I think what even better than North Dakota State and Kansas, I think the quarterback is a bit better in Haynes King, and I think them having a legitimate weapon was something I don't really think North Dakota State or Kansas had on the outside.
Yeah.
It's somebody like Eric Rivers, who caught 12 touchdowns last year, over, I think, 1,100 yards at FIU. And he has been, I think he was an early kind of transfer, I think, in the winter for Georgia Tech. He's been there. He spent the spring there. He should be acclimated to what Haynes King and that offense is going to have planned for him. So I think defensively, though, it's going to be interesting for Georgia Tech because they have a new defensive coordinator. Blake Gideon, who was coaching safeties at Texas last year, is their new DC. This is the 3rd full season for head coach Brent Key, which, as we know, a lot of times is a very pivotal season for college football head coaches. But they've been really good. 6-2 versus ranked ACC teams under Brent Key since he's been there. So this is a team that has played good against good competition under Brent Key. So speaking more about Haynes King, this is, we love, I got a stat for you. He's one of 2 FBS players with 10-plus passing touchdowns and 10-plus rushing touchdowns in each of the last 2 seasons. Could y'all guess who the other quarterback in the FBS to do that? He was just drafted in April. very popular college football quarterback who was just drafted.
Jalen Milroe.
Jalen Milroe. And you know we love our cross race comps here on this show.
Yeah.
I very
Actually,
much
it's all we
like it. I very much liken, I think, Haynes King to Jalen Milroe. A bit less explosive, I think, with his arm and his legs.
Yep.
But you see a lot of the dual threat similarities.
Great cross race comp.
Appreciate that. Yeah,
really
yeah.
good.
Not quite as strong, I would say.
Yeah, right.
As
yeah.
Jalen Milroe.
No doubt.
And for me, the big thing with Haynes King from the games that I watch, he doesn't want to push it.
Exactly.
He does not want to push it downfield. And I think that's the place where this defense can maybe win, especially since you're already going to probably be committing resources to the run game to make sure that they don't get Haynes going on the ground.
Yeah.
Pack the box and trust your guys outside to make plays out there. Maybe shade a little bit over towards Rivers because he's nasty. But all of the success that they had in the passing game was quick game.
And
That's
middle of the
RPO,
field.
middle of the field, crossing routes, that type of stuff. I'm trying to think of when I was watching. I don't know if I saw him complete a pass over 20 yards.
I don't even know if I saw him attempt like a 9 route down the sideline, honestly.
I'm saying part of the reason I think it illustrates the point you guys are making here right now. 72% completion percentage, which obviously is great, but it's a product of the quick game. And
heavy RPO.
2 interceptions on the season, I think, is also a product of not putting the ball in harm's way, which, works. That's we all want to do is take care of the football, but I think it does limit their explosiveness, and it kind of makes them one-dimensional. I think you can stop early on Haynes King's legs and Jamal Haynes' legs, make him a passer,
Yeah.
and it's going to bode well for you.
Yeah. The edges have to be disciplined. This is a heavy option team, too. I mean, it's options on options. They'll have like a speed option, and then Haynes King can just run it power read right up the middle type of stuff. They do run power read a ton as well. Read option, tons of RPOs. They got like the tight end under all the action that's going on. They run the simple bubble RPO. I mean, it's a lot of that stuff. So
Tunnel.
Totally.
Tunnel.
Yep.
Singleton.
So defensive linemen, edges in particular, got to be disciplined. You got to know your keys. You got to know when to stay home, when to chase, when you have help coming over the top. They should be fine in the secondary, I think, with this matchup too.
And I think it bodes well with what they want to do. Under Coach Prime, under Coach Livingston specifically last year, we know this defense in the secondary loves to play man coverage. And I think that's going to be a good formula in week 1 and the right formula to use. Pack the box and make Eric Rivers beat DJ McKinney one-on-one.
Well, and what's really interesting is obviously there's a quarterback battle at Colorado, and we don't know exactly what the offense is going to look like quite yet. But if the quarterback is Caden Salter, I think the offense is going to look very similar to the way that Georgia Tech wants to call their offense.
Probably.
Yeah.
And so that's an interesting kind of wrinkle in all of this is like they're going to be very used to practicing against that style of offense.
Right.
As someone who thinks that we're going to see both quarterbacks, like do you bring in Juju to throw some different stuff at them that maybe they're not as used to? And I felt like they really struggled, and this is funny because it's 2 things that we haven't seen enough. They struggled with motion, and they struggled with mesh. And they really struggled when you combine both of those things.
And running quarterbacks.
Yeah, and so I really just hope that there's going to be more creativity and more use of pre-snap motion and stuff like that to confuse the defense because there's a couple times where they've got guys just running away from the middle of the field. In this case, Duke replaces the middle of the field with 2 receivers who are literally just running wide open down the middle.
Yeah.
Easiest touchdown of the year for them. So, there's a lot of opportunity, I think, to capitalize on that. I'm just praying that the offensive staff leans more into that type of stuff. In the college game, there's just no reason to not try to confuse the defenders.
Yep. Totally.
It has to be a staple of Pat Shurmur's offense this year.
Yep. All right, we'll get into a little bit more on the other side of this break. Shout out to our friends over at Cake Mortgage. If you're a regular employee of a company, you get a W-2 and your income shows on your tax return. Traditional lenders love this because it's simple. But if you are not a traditional, employee who gets a W-2, maybe you own your own business, you're a freelancer, content creator, all kinds of stuff these days, hit up our friends over at Cake Mortgage. Business owners as well. Basically, if you have one of those jobs, it can be difficult to get a loan from a bank to get a home and all that. It's a very tedious process. You got to show, a bunch of proof of income, just proof of money, basically. And if you have a lot of those jobs, sometimes, the big banks, they just don't accept that stuff. That's where our friends at Cake come in. They can get business owners approved by validating your cash flow through bank statements, certified profit, and loss statements or business tax returns. Head to the link in the description to get started. Cake Mortgage Corp. Equal housing lender, NMLS number 1734623, licensed in Colorado by the Division of Real Estate. Terms and conditions apply.
Also, shout out to our friends over at Coors Light.
Yeah.
Number one Coors Light weekend of the year. This weekend?
Gotta be.
4th of July, very underrated holiday, by the way.
Yeah, it's my number one.
Yeah, I don't think it's underrated at all.
Number one.
Yeah, it's my number one.
I think it's universally loved. Or, at least in America.
Well, of course.
Universally, locally.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I mean, it's just a weekend where you have full license to drink as many Coors Lights as you want.
Facts.
Hell yeah.
And I'm going to push that to the limit. I'm going to be honest. But whether it's 4th of July, Memorial Day, Labor Day, or just the weekend, or maybe just a nice evening on a weekday, if you're looking for a time where you're choosing to chill, then you want to chill with an ice cold Coors Light. It's as cold as the Rocky Mountains. So make the most out of the times you choose to chill by choosing Coors Light. Get Coors Light delivered straight to your door by visiting CoorsLight.com/DNVR.
All right, back talking Georgia Tech. Last thing on Colorado's defense versus Georgia Tech's offense. Offensive line-wise, Georgia Tech allowed the fewest sacks in the ACC last year. They allowed 9 sacks. This is a massive test for the edge
But again,
rushers.
quick game.
Exactly. RPOs, all that stuff. So, yeah, there's context for sure, but I'd imagine they want to add a little bit more downfield explosion, some more potent just firepower in that offense for this year.
Got to have the personnel to do that, though. You know, if they trust Haynes King to do that.
Yep.
Right? They might be content with running out the same formula, at least offensively, that they had last year. They might think, hey, we took Georgia to 8 overtimes.
Yeah, sure.
We won. How many? What did they finish with record-wise last year?
They were
8
7 and so then they were in 8-5
With the bowl win?
Yeah. So yeah. Anything else on CU defense versus Georgia Tech offense?
I don't think so.
On the other side of the ball, though, Georgia Tech least amount of sacks against last year. They also had the least amount of sacks for in the ACC last year. Only 18 sacks. You talk about a dream matchup for Colorado, that's about it. They lost their best edge rusher. You saw right there in the departures. They did get some guys in the portal. The defensive lineman is returning. Jordan Vanderberg. He's one of their better players. Kyle Efford will be back. He was, I think, their leading tackler at linebacker, and you get 2 guys back in the secondary. This is they played some man. It seemed pretty zone heavy in the back end, though. And it was good coverage, but talent-wise, I think CU's wide receivers should be able to, get free, make some big plays against this secondary.
That's probably something you should be saying every game.
Totally.
This season. But I think that this is one where they especially have an advantage. And again, a very interesting kind of thought for the game plan is again, you're thinking quarterbacks. Which quarterback is going to push a secondary more? And not to say that Caden can't push the ball down the field, because I think he's displayed an ability to do that.
Yep.
But it's going to be such a difficult setup for the coaching staff each week to go into what quarterback setup gives us the best chance to win this week.
Yep.
I think the lack of sacks that you mentioned, Jake, for Georgia Tech defensively is really interesting. You said 18 and 12 or 13 games is
I just lost it.
Not ideal.
They finished 17 out of 17 in the ACC with 18 sacks.
Yeah, I mean, that would have been second to last in the Big 12 last year. So that gives you optimism, obviously, in the passing game. Hopefully to dial up some real deep shots to give Amario Miller, Sincere Brown some deep one-on-one shots down the field, because I think that's also something that Caden Salter really thrived at Liberty. He threw the deep ball a ton, and I'll try to find those stats here in a second, but he threw the deep ball a ton at Liberty, and really successfully. So he has the D ball in his bag. And again, I think they're going to get a lot of one-on-one opportunities, particularly in week 1 by Georgia Tech, because I think Georgia Tech schematically is going to probably be trying to scheme up to defend Caden Salter's legs and his dual threat ability as well. So there are going to be opportunities down the field.
If this was last season, we would have been saying, like, Shador's about to go have a field day.
Yes.
They can't rush the
if
passer.
they could protect, yes.
Right.
You're
They
right.
can't rush the passer, and they don't have a great secondary. Like, we would be like, okay, he's going for 450.
Right.
Yeah.
Totally.
And it's just an interesting thing to think about when they go into this game. Like, as much as we want to get the run game going, and we desperately need to this season, this isn't necessarily the game where that should be the focus, because they're strong against the run even, and struggle against the pass.
That's exactly it. Looking at the averages from last year in terms of rushing yards per game, Georgia Tech came in 30th in the country, allowing an average of 122 yards per game. So yeah, for a team who's been just desperately searching for a running game the last 2 years, that's not the ideal opponent to get your start off against in 2025. But as you mentioned, the passing game, 69th in the country, so about middle of the pack, 220 passing yards a game. So I think you can expect, I think, over that for CU, over 220. I'd be
shocked if it was under that.
Totally, 100%.
So would I.
Unless they just run the ball like crazy, which, I mean, believe it when we see
Hallelujah.
it. Yes. Anything else that we want to mention before we kind of rank it out position group by position group, or give the edge? I don't know. What do you call it on the Broncos show when you do that?
Just look at the matchups,
Comparison.
I guess. Yeah. No, I think we hit on most of it. This is a tough challenge in week 1, but it's certainly not an unwinnable game. And Georgia Tech, I think, again, in a week 1 matchup, feels like a pretty tough one. But we're talking about a team that was 6-6 in the regular season last year, I think, and has plenty of faults. And I would say, at best, was net neutral in the portal.
Yeah.
So this is a winnable football game, and that Colorado has at home.
Right.
And it can really boost the trajectory of the season if you find a way to get this one.
Yep.
Skull Buffs asks how many defensive starters they're returning. I'm not sure about that.
9. So that CBS article we talked about last week with all the Power 4 returning starters, Georgia Tech has a projected total of 9, 5 on offense, 4 on defense.
And they're returning 4 of their top 5 tacklers from last season as well.
All right, start from the top. And probably, honestly, the most difficult one on here, QB.
Yeah, I mean, I think that Haynes King is what probably makes this the hardest of anyone for CU. I think that it's Georgia Tech's best weapon coming into this game is a highly experienced quarterback who can, both run and pass well.
Yeah. Been in the system too.
Yeah. So it's tough, but they know who their guy is.
Yeah, I think I'm with you.
Scotty?
I was going to give the edge to Colorado. I'm not going to lie. I'm not overly impressed with Haynes King.
I mean,
his numbers are solid, and he's an experienced guy. He's returning to the system under the same head coach, probably the same offensive coordinator soon, like you mentioned. But if we're talking about quarterback rooms, which I don't know if we are, I don't know if we're talking about quarterback rooms or starter versus starter, projected starter versus projected starter, but
I would say projected starter.
I think it's just context of the game.
Well, yeah, I mean, if both quarterbacks are going to play, which I think they will, then you factor both quarterbacks in.
I think, me personally, I would give Colorado the nod.
I think it's really close.
It is close to me, yes.
And so I'm happy with going Colorado, obviously.
Yeah.
But when I just think of this game, I think that Georgia Tech's quarterback is kind of the best thing that they have going for them.
It's exactly that. He has significant limitations in the passing game, some real limitations in that area, but he's just one of those guys who, I mean, again, who's the quarterback that really, I guess, gashed Colorado last year? I guess it was, if you just put both NDSU quarterbacks together, that's kind of what you're getting in Haynes King, honestly.
The NDS quarterback, yeah. Avery Johnson played fine.
But he wasn't running around like on the ground. You know what I mean?
Jalen Daniels played fine as a runner.
Yeah. So.
And I mean, yeah, I mean that's just kind of where I'm at with it. I understand Georgia Tech kind of going with the more so proven commodity, but if I was going into it, I would give Colorado the nod. And when you say you think Haynes King is the best thing they have going for them being Georgia Tech, I think it's their running backs. I think it's their two-headed monster at running back.
That's a valid point.
All right, so we'll go let's go quarterback, and then I think running back is pretty obvious.
Running back is very clear.
They get running back for sure.
Wide receivers. Look, Rutherford's a good player. They had some older players last year who are no longer there, who made some, timely plays, particularly the tight ends. They had some big tight ends last year. That room's been kind of redone. Wide receivers, to me, it's just not even close, though. It's Colorado.
I mean, I don't know if we'll do one at all this entire year, where somebody else gets the nod over Colorado at receiver.
Rivers is really nice. I'm curious to see how much he can replace what Singleton did, because, I mean, they relied on Singleton. I felt like even more heavily than Colorado relied on Travis Hunter last year.
Wow,
it was just like, how can we get him the ball at any moment? And he did. He made magic a lot of times. He got the rock.
did.
And another thing we didn't talk about with Georgia Tech's offense is jet sweeps, getting the wide receivers in the backfield, getting them in the run game a ton. I mean, it's almost by any means necessary. Let's run the ball. That's like kind of their message type on offense. Tight ends, again, it's an interesting one for Georgia Tech. Obviously, Colorado, kind of an unknown again. Last year, Avery Boyd was their leading tight end. I'm pretty sure he is gone. Yeah, he was a fifth-year senior last year. They did bring in a few in the portal. A guy from Wake Forest, a guy from Cal. They also lost one in the portal as well. So, I mean, it's two not great tight end rooms, honestly.
Yeah, one of the things that we have been doing on the Bronco Show that I kind of think maybe we should is having ties in these. I don't know if they have the right icon for it over there.
I think that'd be a good spot for a tie here, I think.
But obviously we're excited about the additions to Colorado's tight end room this year, but both groups are really unproven.
Yep.
A lot of unknown there.
Yep.
Yeah, we're going to call this a draw. We can figure out how to make it work later. I feel like a dash, like a yellow dash.
Yeah. Offensive line, it's got to be Georgia Tech.
They did have a big departure there, but...
They did, but, I mean, Colorado, we're still trying to put one together from the portal. Like, we don't know what we're going to see at all, honestly.
Do you got that projected starters thing still up from CBS?
Yeah.
Do they name names?
So they have two guards coming back, Joe Foosley and Keelan Rutledge. They lost that tackle to Arkansas. I think they got a 5-star actually recently as well, offensive tackle, Georgia Tech. So, I mean, maybe it's his time. I can't remember his name. Josh Petty. He was a 2025 5-star tackle.
Interesting.
But only listed at 6'5", 265. I don't know if he's going to be ready as a true freshman.
Need some time.
Yeah.
I feel like 20. I don't know, but yeah. I mean, returning 2 starters. That's obviously more than Colorado will be returning on the offensive line.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I would assume that Georgia Tech probably gets a nod here.
2 out of 5 though.
Yeah.
I mean,
Colorado's returning top 3 tackle in the country.
they are, and I'm
No
not
doubt.
trying to argue for Georgia Tech here. I'm just trying to throw it all out. But like,
Yeah.
fewest amount of sacks in the ACC. They're established. You don't have to like they're known for running the ball. There's not like questions about that with them. You know what I mean? Like that's just why it's so clear to me.
I'm happy giving them the nod. That's fine.
Run defense. This is a bit of an interesting one. Colorado definitely had their times. They were one of the best in the Big 12 when they were at the peak of their power last year. Georgia Tech, again, they were around
30th in the country.
Yes. So pretty good. They did lose their top edge rusher, though.
I'll give them run D. I would give Colorado pass rush and coverage.
I think you're spot on, brother.
Yeah.
I was trying to make out what that said at first. I ain't gonna lie. I was like, what is that under O-line? Run D. That makes sense.
Run D, pass rush, coverage. And
Coach.
then
So Brent Key, I mean, yeah. But real quick, Brent Key, he was a big part of the UCF staff with Scott Frost that was really good back then. After all that ended,
Was that when they won a natty?
they say that, yes. They actually got really bad really quick. They went
Yes, they did.
winless in 2015. He left after that year, ended up at Alabama as their offensive line coach.
nice.
Was there for 2
No wonder
years.
they have such a damn good offensive line.
Yep, was there 2 years. Then goes to Georgia Tech in 2019 as assistant head coach, OL/run game coordinator. I can't remember who they had. Someone got fired, and then he ends up taking over as interim, and he gets hired as full time.
Yeah, I think he's a good coach.
He is.
I mean, I think that was displayed like in that Georgia Tech game last year. He can coach for sure. But
Yeah, like I
we're
said-
obviously taking Coach Prime.
Yeah, 6-2.
totally.
Like I said earlier, 6-2 versus ranked conference opponents since he's been there at Georgia Tech. He's a good coach, and I feel like he's done pretty well considering the circumstances at Georgia Tech. Because I've never looked at Georgia Tech as like some,
Yeah,
really
someone
good
in the
football
comments said
program.
like Georgia Tech is overrated by college football fans every year, and I definitely don't think that's true.
I don't think that's true either.
They've been like very like
They're just very
above
mid at
average.
best.
Yeah. All right, we just got a commitment, but we got to take a break. We'll discuss it on the other side.
Shout out to the squad, our good friends over at Fan Steak, y'all. Today's episode is brought to you by Fan Steak. It's a new platform where fans can pledge direct support to athletes to help their favorite teams recruit and retain top players. Here's the best part. It's risk-free. Fans can place stakes for a specific athlete to join or stay at their school, and if that athlete decides to go elsewhere, the fans, you can get your money back. This is the simplest way to provide direct support for the team's young core because, we're going to want to keep some of these players around for as long as possible and make sure that they don't go elsewhere. Colorado is currently just the 5th most popular fan base on FanStake, so we got to get those numbers up, y'all. FanStake is currently offering new fans a free $25 credit. No credit card is required, no strings attached, and I'm encouraging everyone to join us in staking for Jordan Seaton, a top 5 ranked offensive lineman in the new EA college football game, to make sure he stays right here in Boulder, Colorado. Click the link in our description, scan the QR code, or just head over to fanstake.com and use promo code DNVR. Shout out to FanStake.
All right. Oh, sorry. I was ready.
Let me see.
You don't even have it.
It's yours.
Me. Shout out to our friends at Toyota. The homies at Toyota. Always reliable, always dependable.
Is changing up the batting order?
No,
Middle of the
bro,
game?
that's you.
What do you mean? Okay, go on.
I think he changed
Yeah,
it
it's
up.
my. I got it. I'll take responsibility. It was me.
No,
I threw
I'm
it
saying
off.
it goes
It's-
first break, you, me. Second break, you, Scott.
I know, and he messed it up.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll take blame. I threw it off.
It's all right. Shout out to Toyota, though. Always dependable. Wide range of options. Trucks, SUVs, hybrids, sports cars, sedans, daily commuters, all that stuff. Hit them up. They're all over out here at Colorado, and it's honestly the car I see the most. I mean, looking out the window back here, there's at least one. So they are literally everywhere. And they will come and save you on the side of the road as well if, I don't know, you happen to get a flat tire or something. Visit your Front Range Toyota stores at a location near you. AutoNation Toyota, Arapahoe and Centennial, Corbin Toyota in Boulder, Groove Toyota in Littleton, Mountain States Toyota in Denver, Stevenson Toyota East in Aurora, and Stevenson Toyota West in Lakewood. Toyota is a proud partner of CU Athletics and the official vehicle of DNVR. Let's go places. Okay. Yes, Colby Johnson has committed to Colorado. He picks the Buffs over San Diego State, Arizona. Sounds like Wazoo was in there as well. Mm-hmm. Listed at 6'2", 195, Eastlake High School in Sammamish, Washington. 3-star player, 1,238th overall player, 104th ranked linebacker. Trust me, there's cars out here. But yeah, he's what, 4th commitment?
Number 5.
5?
Number 5.
There you go.
Thank you for reminding me of that, by the way, as well.
Welcome to the herd, young man. Great decision. You won't regret it.
Totally.
Yeah, I mean, coming from the state of Washington, you mentioned turned down a Washington State offer, which I think he's kind of like a legacy. I think like maybe his parents both went there or something like that. So Washington State, being his home state school, was a factor. But you mentioned it, chose the Buffs over Arizona, San Diego State as well. He took visits, I believe, to both of those last two schools. So first linebacker here in this 2026 recruiting class, the number 5th commit in this class overall. Gavin Mueller, obviously, Preston Ashley, 2 4-stars, Maurice Williams, a 3-star corner, Domata Peko Jr., the 3-star edge, and now Colby Johnson, the first linebacker of this 2026 recruiting class, who has said that he really enjoyed his time with Coach Hart. Obviously, he was there for a visit.
The players like Coach Hart.
I don't know how
3
it'd be
weeks
possible
ago,
to not like Coach Hart if you actually talk to him.
Apparently, it's very possible.
I said if you actually talk to him.
That's true. That's the important one. Yeah, and any moment now as well, Trip Skews, a 3-star offensive lineman from right here in Denver, should be announcing his decision as well between Colorado, Texas Tech, Vanderbilt, and of course, Bill Belichick in North Carolina.
Let's hope the Buffs have done what it takes to skew him towards Colorado.
God damn it. All right.
Otherwise, we put him on a skewer.
Okay. A few more things to talk about. You guys want to talk about video game rankings or strength of schedule?
Strength of schedule.
So Phil Steele, I'm pretty sure the magazine is out.
Yes, it is.
We got to pick that up, by the way. But he ranked the Big 12 football schedules from toughest to easiest. Do you have any idea where Colorado ranks in this?
I'm just going to guess that they are in the top 6.
Okay.
It's a good guess, brother.
I know Scotty saw it. So let's just start from the top then. Number 1 is TCU. They are given the 11th hardest schedule in the
In
nation.
the country. That's bad news for them.
Yep. They take on...
I think they're good enough to like win a lot of games, but I didn't realize they were they had such a hard schedule.
I mean, really, outside of Colorado, they probably have the most impressive non-conference slate in the conference.
Who they got besides North Carolina?
I think they have SMU as well.
Wow.
Yes.
The old Dallas-Fort Worth
That's
battle.
interesting, man. Because, I mean, yeah, like I was mentioning yesterday, as of right now, Josh Hoover is my pick for first team All-Big 12 at quarterback. And I think part of the reason is that he's going to have some real tough tests.
Yeah.
And if he comes out on top of those, he is going to be looked at as one of those guys.
North Carolina's first
Yeah.
6 of their first 7 games. Listen to this. At North Carolina, week 1.
Yeesh.
Week 2, you're at home versus Abilene Christian, okay? That's your break. That's might be the break of their
Abilene
entire
Christian
schedule.
almost beat
Tech, right?
Tech last
Yeah.
year.
Yeah.
And then like a 60 to 50 type
So
game.
even then, that's like
Yeah.
almost maybe not quite NDSU, but it's
Yeah.
not a pushover. After that, SMU at home. After that, ASU at ASU.
Oh.
After that, Colorado.
Oh.
After that, Kansas State.
Oh.
Brutal.
After that, Baylor.
Bro, they might be like 0-7.
And then they still have Iowa State and BYU in the schedule after that, too.
It's brutal.
That's a brutal
What?
7-game stretch. Number 2 in the Big 12, though.
Okay, they're going to beat Abilene Christian. They might be 1-6.
Number 2 is your Colorado Buffaloes. They're given the 18th most difficult schedule in the country.
Okay.
Sounds about right.
I mean, we know the schedule. We don't have to walk through it. I mean, you do play. You're one of, 10 teams in the country to play all FBS teams?
Now, just let me make sure this is how this works. If you have the 18th toughest schedule in the country and you win a bunch of games, you have to get credit for that, right?
Usually, yes.
That's the rules?
I don't know about the
Depends
rules.
who you ask, brother.
Okay, all right, just making sure because I feel like people are going to try and move the goalposts around a little bit.
Yeah.
One thing that goalpost gonna always do is move, man.
Yep.
Just remember this moment.
No, they're battery powered wheels, bro. Those things are
Always
never
ready
know.
to go.
Energizer bunny.
For real.
Number 3 is the Arizona Wildcats.
Brutal.
Yeah, this could be a really tough year for them. Hawaii, Weber State, Kansas State as a non-conference game.
Do you think Brett Brennan is reaching out to his next job now, or you think he's going to wait a little bit?
Do you think he'll get a next job?
Bro,
I'm sure he will. Yeah.
And they low-key have like a good amount of recruiting
Not as a
momentum
head
right
coach.
now, which is crazy to me.
Yeah, they got Oscar Rios.
Yeah, and they landed a running back too, a 3-star running back from I think California, and obviously they're in the top 3 of some Colorado targets right now as well. But it's just like that's just crazy to me because it's like, what are you selling them on? What are you selling these kids on when it comes to Arizona?
Crazy.
It's wild. Real quickly though, one last thing. Julius mentioned it where he goes, "Nah, if they start 4-0, they might be for real." Yeah, if TCU, we were talking about that stretch, if they're like 5-2, 6-1,
Yeah,
you know, like that's a top 20 team.
They'll be ranked in the top 15.
Yeah, they'll be
Start
top
4.
10 almost. Like they'll be.
Yeah.
People will be talking about that.
Yeah.
Yep.
I'm not going to go through the rest of these, but after that, it's Baylor, who's 30th. West Virginia is 32nd. Iowa State is 35th. Utah is 38th. ASU 39th. So you can see what's happening here. Kansas State 40th. BYU 43rd. Oklahoma State 45th. Cincinnati 51st. Houston 57th. Kansas 59th. UCF 70th. Texas Tech.
Dead last?
72nd.
Wow. They're last in the Big 12.
Last in the Big 12.
Bro, if they don't get to 10 wins this season, that's the most disappointing team in college
So
football.
they open up with Arkansas Pine Bluff, which Kent State, one of the worst teams in FBS.
Bro, I saw a thing today. You might have seen this
Yes,
too.
I think. Yeah.
Where it was like the watchability score of like every college football game this season, this upcoming season, and like Kent State had like 5 of like the bottom 7, like just because they're projected to be like the worst team, arguably in FBS.
I mean, look, we don't talk about it for a lot of reasons, but literally, Sean Lewis left that program, and they're dead,
Yep.
done.
it's crazy.
Okay, keep going. I want to hear the rest of their schedule.
Kent State, then they have Oregon State.
Okay.
Um,
They're not winning 10 games, by the way.
at Utah, at Houston, versus Kansas, at ASU, versus Oklahoma State, at Kansas State, versus BYU, versus UCF, at West Virginia.
I don't think they win in 10 games either. But if they don't, that's one of the most disappointing teams in college football, and that boy Joey McGuire instantly on the hot seat.
Yep.
Like I've said it a million times, Texas Tech was put on this earth to win somewhere between 6 and 9 games every season.
Facts.
So, yep. College football stuff. Well, actually, Jordan Seaton stuff. I mean, he's been racking up accolades today. He got another one here. What?
Nothing, not you.
It's not you, bro.
He was named to the Walter Camp preseason All-American second team.
Nice.
He was named All Preseason Big 12 by, I think, Athlon. And then in the college football top 5 tackles, college football 26 top 5 tackles, he comes in at number 2.
Sheesh.
Or I'm sorry, number 5. That's my fault.
Should have been number 2 at least.
Do you have that top 5 graphic? First is no surprise. I mean, Caden Proctor is probably going to be a top 5 pick in April's draft. Spencer Fano, number 2, is a really good tackle at Utah.
Probably a top 10 pick this year as well.
Francis Muigoa is really good at Miami. He's gotten some like Penny Sewell comparisons. I don't know anything about Armaj Reed Adams yet, but that's still damn good company with Jordan Seaton right there. That's first round territory.
Well, and I'm guessing Jordan Seaton's the only one on that list that's a sophomore.
Probably.
Yeah.
And like his other ancillary kind of stats are fire. Like he has like the highest agility of like the top tackles as well, which
You
makes
see
sense.
Him doing that drill
Yes,
the other day
bro.
with his feet on
How
the
are
half
his-
circle.
How are his feet that fast?
He's a
At
true
his
athlete,
size.
bro.
He really is, dog.
I kind of want to see him like play basketball.
Give him a touch.
I feel like he would have a nasty drop step.
Split him out wide in the red zone. Toss it up.
Oh man.
I would be fine with Jordan Seaton getting a carry this season.
Ooh, is that
We
true?
need that. We need Stampede back. Yes, we're going to talk about that right now. So apparently the college football 26 ratings have leaked.
Ooh.
Jordan is the top player on the team at 92 overall. Second overall is a transfer, and his name is Xavier Hill, and he's a 90 overall.
Try to tell
That's
them
your left
folks.
guard. That's your
Xavier
left side of
Mountain
your
now that he's
offensive
in Boulder.
line. Yeah.
That is it's kind of like when Dallin Hayden was unstoppable in the game last year. Like, I hope this is true.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because if that's true, we're going to be able to run that rock.
That left side finna be crazy. And it's not surprising. I mean, this man, Xavier Hill, started 26 straight games in Memphis. A 2-time All-AAC pick. First team in 2024. And if you've seen him in the well-off, Reach the People videos this spring, this summer, he looks the part and broken play.
Yeah. Third is DJ McKinney. He's an 89 overall.
Nice.
After that, it's Caden Salter. He's got an 88 overall grade, 90 speed, 92 acceleration.
Oh, my.
Oh,
90
man.
speed's cheating. Inaccurate, by the way.
What are you going through over there, bro?
I'm
thinking about getting that
I'm just
game.
thinking I'm just thinking about how I would just be smoking fools online with Caden Salter as my quarterback.
Top 15
There's the
quarterback
top
in the
20
game.
quarterbacks in the game. So he's number 15. I mean, there's no clear-cut favorite. It's all within that whole graphic's within 4 overall points.
I saw that Madden included that you can juke in the backfield now.
Yeah.
Does
Yeah.
college football have that too?
I think so.
Sick.
Think so.
I think this is
Got him
mostly
above
valid,
Nico.
too. You said Nico. What about Nico?
He's one below Caden.
Oh,
Yep.
yeah.
Last year, Nico was like OP kind of.
Tennessee was fun to play with
Yeah.
on that game, yeah.
Look at number 19.
What school
that's
does he go
Jake
to?
Retz.
They don't even have a thing next to his name. That's crazy.
So Big 12 quarterbacks, 20 Sawyer Robertson, 18 Rocco Becht, 15 Caden Salter, 11 Avery Johnson,
Sam Lovett at 4.
and Sam Levitt at 4 with a 91.
Wow.
Is that 5 you just named?
Yeah, and it would have been more if
Yeah.
Retzloff, obviously, but
A quarter of the top 20 quarterbacks.
Sam Levitt
playing
has the
Big
same
12.
rating as Lenoris Sellers is disrespectful.
yeah,
Yeah.
put some respect on my guy.
Also, Carson
Norris.
Beck, what are we doing here, man?
Yeah, I mean,
Low key though, watching that Georgia game back, I was like, all right, I can kind of see where Carson Beck, like, I can kind of see it
see what?
where he does things well.
Yeah.
He's kind of tough, bro. Like
Yes, he is.
he's taking some
He's
hits. Like he hangs in the pocket.
He's solid. He's solid.
I don't care about all that. He's just not very good at quarterback.
I mean, totally off track.
And his
but
supporting cast is going to be significantly worse.
yeah,
I mean, I don't know about that, though. I think we kind of talked about this. Like, Georgia's receivers last year weren't good. They just weren't.
they got a lot better this offseason.
But that's irrelevant to this
yeah,
conversation.
yeah, exactly,
They were
yeah.
not bad.
Bro.
They had so much speed all over the field.
Arian Smith
He
was their
could not
top.
catch.
He was not good, and he was their top receiver. He did get drafted, I believe, by
I
the
liked
Jets late,
Lovett.
but
He was a good player.
yeah, I just don't know if he's gonna have a massive downgrade in terms of weapons. Remember, Miami got that bread.
Yeah,
They
but
gonna
also,
have
I'm
him
not just
with some
talking about weapons. I'm talking about supporting cast. I'm
Okay.
talking about offensive
Offensive line, sure. I'm with
running
you on
backs,
that. I'm with you on that.
defense. Like, just
I'm with you on
I
that.
mean, he did have a left tackle that was just named,
True.
and that. But I mean, I'm with you, RK. Like, I think if you're Carson Beck, you would rather want to throw the Zachariah Branch than not throw to Zachariah Branch this next year,
no,
yes.
which is what Georgia has.
yes.
Con-
And he's also down a Cavender.
hey, that could turn him up though. Heartbroke season. You feel me? He might be turned.
True. Got to show out. Got to earn
Fact.
some respect on the beach.
For real.
Mark my words, I'm a ball without you.
I'm dead. Hey, that'd be hilarious if he had like a walkout song and it was that. Just that throwaway. That'd be hilarious.
After Caden Salter in college football 26, it's Jaheim Otis with an 86.
Nice.
Sick.
Carter Stoutmeyer with an 85.
Ooh.
Again,
Okay.
put some respect on Carter's name, man.
Please. Also, you see the new fro that he was rocking?
Yeah.
Sick.
Boy, look fresh out the 70s.
Arden Walker's got an 83. Michael Welsh was also an 83. Tyrekus Davis and Preston Hodge, both 82s.
Okay. Preston Hodge, underrated.
Very much so. But
Yes.
He's
accurate
got to
on
be
Tyreek.
85 at least.
Dallin Hayden, 81. Martavius French, 81. Simeon Price, 81.
Whoa.
Keaton
So
Wade.
that's 3 running backs that got 80 plus.
Keaton Wade, 81. Charlie Offerdahl, 80.
4 running backs, 80 plus.
Oh.
Philip Houston, 80.
Nice.
I think this
So
is
that's
Bro,
three
this team is
offensive linemen
very
too.
playable.
3 offensive
Yeah.
linemen, 80+.
this is the first wide receiver, I think. Joseph Williams, 80. That's the top ranked wide receiver.
Now, what are we doing here? I did just see our guy, Omarion Miller, 11 minutes ago tweeted, okay, cool.
Draylon Miller, 79.
What?
Omarion Miller, 79.
I'm pretty
That'll
sure they were
change.
both rated higher in last year's game.
Tawfiq Bayard, 79.
Oh,
That'll change as well.
Omarion's a 79. Juju, 79. So this is like the default rating. Like
But
they don't know. If they don't know, they're just like slap a 79
Facts.
on them.
someone show them just like a 10-play Omarion Miller highlight reel.
I mean, yeah. And then of course the classic EA thing where they just like fill in the roster with names. Someone named Justin Bigby is a 78. He plays edge.
Nice.
No idea who
He was on the team last year.
Was he really? Larry Johnson,
Big B,
77.
dude, I upgraded him. He was a starter for me as a senior.
Really? There's a few of those guys.
Hey, y'all.
Shaq Bellamy, he plays running back, 76 overall. What's up?
Shaq. Trubsky has made a decision.
And?
He is committed to Vanderbilt.
Damn.
Skewered.
Oh my God.
Wrong black and gold.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, that's most of the team right there. They're rated. I don't have the overall.
Is there somebody whose name we haven't heard that we should have heard?
I mean, they were not kind of the tight ends at all.
I feel like there's another wide receiver that we haven't heard yet. Like Sincere Brown.
Sincere, yeah.
Not on the list.
Wow.
So he's going to have some weird name. I'm sure there's some receiver on this list that is supposed to be him.
6'5".
Cam Michaels, 73.
Speed though, 97.
Speed, 96 with it looks like a 94 acceleration.
See
Yep.
who they got the fastest player in the game this year?
I forget.
I did
The
not
same
see
one as last year. That Nick Harbor dude from
Oh,
South
bro.
Carolina. Yeah.
What about
Did they not learn their lesson with him?
the Kentucky kid? He went to LSU.
Barry and Brown, he's like
Number
2
two.
or 3.
Yeah, he was
Yeah.
terrible to play against.
Yeah.
He was unguardable.
Yeah.
Anyone else though that you want to know? I think I have the whole list here. Do we care?
Micah?
Trackhawk?
Micah was 82.
Oh, okay.
Trackhawk? Yeah, Michael was the highest rated running back.
Not in the game.
Kalen's not in the game.
Dang.
Or not listed yet.
Yes. They gave Quanell a 74. It's pretty good for a true freshman. How about, put some respect on my guy Buck Buchanan. He's not a 73 overall kicker.
Well, you better have like 95 kick power at least.
Yes. But yeah.
What about new mate?
New mate.
Mike.
He is. Can't find him. Hold on. Let me search his name. 71 overall.
Where they got my boy
Wow.
Jack Estera at?
Disrespectful.
Jack Estera got a decent one.
Really? Go crazy.
76.
Okay.
That's not decent.
I mean, in terms of the other wide
Yeah,
receivers, I
relative
guess.
to the
Yeah.
others.
What is going on with the wide receiver ratings?
I don't
They're
know.
gonna have they're gonna have multiple 85 pluses. They said, what's Quentin Gibson's speed?
Ooh. Quentin Gibson, a 91 speed, 93 acceleration.
We'll work with that.
I mean, you're getting him to 95 plus in both
Yep.
after your first year.
What they got Tion at?
Parks, he may not be in the game. I don't think those guys coming up a level from FCS have signed yet
Interesting.
because it's a lot of DeKalen, him, Sincere, Zach Atkins. I didn't see in here.
Dang, no Zach Atkins is crazy.
I mean, I think that's part of why the tight end is so. Oh, Zach is in the game actually. 77. He got a decent
Okay.
rating.
Yeah, we'll take that. That'll go up.
Noah King, 77.
You see they're coming out with a NCAA basketball game?
Yeah, but not till 2028.
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
lame. But that would be dope, though. I loved that back in the day. That was fire.
Never played
didn't-
that one.
I had the one with Kevin Love on the cover when he was at UCLA. Fire.
I don't remember it being a good game.
Really? I remember it gave me a couple good summers.
Yeah. I remember playing with, this will be a throwback for some real OG Buffs fans. My sister was really good friends with, there was a receiver on the Buffs named Tyler Littlehales. and my sister was really good friends with his sister, and I like went over to their house for some reason, and I played that game with Tyler Littlehales, and like I thought that was like the coolest thing ever.
Yeah. I remember there was one with like Mello in the Syracuse uniform. 07, is that what it was?
No, that's NBA Live.
Is it?
The NBA Live 05 had Melo on the cover.
With the Cuse orange and all that?
Yeah.
Oh, damn.
No, not in the Cuse orange. He was the Nugget at that point.
There's one where he got one, like a college one though.
Maybe it was a throwback one or something?
Maybe. I don't know. They kind of changed the. I remember like I had NHL 04, and they had Ilya Kovalchuk on that. And but there, I saw another one a few months later that had Joe Sakic on the cover though.
Oh.
Yeah.
I'm Heaven's Demon wants to know what would Scotty's rating be in the game.
I'd be a smooth 91.
Speed?
Bro. Speed, I'd probably be like a 87 speed. 89
Acceleration, then?
acceleration.
Bro.
You're gonna need more than that, bro.
No, I'm not.
Yeah, you will.
No, I'm not, bro. I'm gonna have like a 97 accuracy, like a 94 throw
I've never
power.
seen a quarterback this good playing for FCS Northwest.
Don't put FCS Northwest on schedule. It's gonna be sad for y'all. I'd be cold on here.
James says predictions for rest of the Big 12.
RC would have 99 throw power, 0 awareness.
Oh, bro. Also had like a 50 injury too. He'd get injured instantly.
But he'd be 6'6" in the game.
Right.
James has predictions for the rest of the Big 12 in Week 0 and Week 1. I don't know if we have any yet. That's almost a whole show, honestly.
I'm looking at some. I just pulled out some of them. So that first weekend, that first day of the regular season, Saturday, August 23rd. Who y'all got? A couple. Well, that first one, Iowa State, Kansas State, is that first day.
Week
Farmageddon.
0, right?
Yeah, week 0. Who y'all liking that one early? It's obviously early.
Kansas State.
Yep.
Fresno State at Kansas.
Fresno.
I'm taking Fresno.
Actually,
Yeah, bro. Fuck
No, I'll
Kansas.
take Kansas.
the following week, Jacksonville State, the Fighting Reggie Hugheses, the Fighting Charles Kellys, the Fighting Trevor Woods travel to UCF.
Yeah, give me Jacksonville State.
Yeah, let's go.
I'm going to be locked into what that spread is.
You know what? Yeah, is there an early
because
line for that?
I know, for real. I would take them to cover, no doubt. Tickets as low as $9.
Shit, let's
Damn.
go, bro. Go back to Orlando.
Who
Are we
else?
busy?
Maybe. Nebraska at Cincinnati.
Give me Cincy.
Come on, Cincy.
Go
Yeah, at
Bearcats.
home too.
Nebraska still rolling with Raiola at quarterback?
They are. Yes, they
I
are.
think so, bro.
He wasn't a top 20 ranked quarterback.
You're right.
Of course not.
Dang.
Auburn at Baylor.
Give me Baylor.
Same time as Georgia Tech, Colorado.
Yep.
Colorado.
Yes.
Yeah, I think that's early on. That's
Is that
kind
it
of,
for week 1?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, it's that time.
Surely is.
Last minute
Les.
super chat from Don Peasy.
Peasy.
He says 2 things that will always be true. DNVR Buffs with a great show and haters always moving the goalposts. Facts, bro.
Oh,
Thank
yeah.
you,
We
man.
can live with one of
Facts.
those two things.
Yep. Delaware later this week, potentially. We're off Friday, by the way. Happy 4th, everyone.
Yeah.
Maybe Thursday.
I won't be here Thursday.
So we'll do Delaware next week.
All right.
I won't be here Thursday.
You won't be here Thursday? You're lying, bro. We'll do 2 next week. Can we commit to 2 next week?
Sure.
Yes.
I mean, we
Delaware,
got a
Miami.
lot of time.
We do. We do. But we have a lot of stuff that's going to happen very quickly as well.
All right.
So,
Congratulations to Colby Johnson.
yes.
Oh, yeah. New
Hell
buff.
yeah.
Go show him some love on socials.
Yep. Turn them up. All right. We'll see you guys tomorrow. Let's go Buffs.
Let's go Buffs.
We all silly like the mayor.